Today we are traveling back in time to visit the Bahamas in 1987 to try 5 cocktails that you would have found there at the time. We'll sample the Bahamian Sunset, the Cherry Almond, the Yellowbird, the Goombay Smash, and the Bahama Mama. I just very recently shared a Bahama Mama recipe that uses Kahlua coffee liqueur, and that is one of the several variations that you can find of this drink. A while back, I also shared an in-depth overview of the history of the Bahama Mama using another variation of the drink that calls for an orange curacao. Today's version is yet another version of that drink, kind of rounding out the 3 biggest recipes that are out there. I came across these 5 cocktails in a newspaper article from November 1987 in the Tampa Tribune. Rum-based recipes for a tropical feel, and this was printed around Christmas time to bring that tropical feel home for the holidays. I have not had several of these cocktails, not ever. And then the couple that I have had, I've never made the versions that we're making of them today. I'll be making a few adjustments here for the ingredients I have, but in this episode's description, I'll include the exact recipe that I found in the newspaper, as well as the ingredients that I use and the rums that I use. The recipes today are all coming from the Royal Bahamian Hotel and Villas on Cable Beach. While it is always important to have an open mind, these drinks from 1987 are not ones I plan on being wowed by. Most are getting their acidity from pineapple juice and nothing else, which is not that helpful in a cocktail. But I'm not revising these. Not really. I'm not going to be fixing them. This is history, folks. History according to Linda Brockman, special sections writer with the Tribune. However, I do have a few tricks up my sleeve that don't involve fixing. First, I'm not using shit ingredients. Good rums, good juices, good grenadine. Second, several of these call for a coconut rum, and yeah, they probably mean this, which isn't really coconut rum, but I'm using this instead. First time cracking this open, but the people on the Make and Drink Discord approved of it, and it's from Kaloa in Kauai, and that just might be my favorite small town in all of the world. So making these with quality ingredients, and if after I make them and drink them, they seem lacking in acidity, well then I have one more trick up my sleeve, which I think is fair game. So let's get started, and we're going to start with our 2 blender drinks. To make the Bahamian Sunset, start with 3 ounces of pineapple juice, 2 dashes of grenadine, half an ounce of a banana liqueur, half an ounce of coconut rum, 1 1/4 ounces of a light rum. And while not authentic to this recipe, I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. I'll explain why later. Now I'll add 1 1/2 cups of crushed or nugget ice. So there you go, the Bahamian Sunset. All right, next we're gonna make the Cherry Almond. I'm gonna start with 2 ounces of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of cream, half an ounce of a banana liqueur, half an ounce of amaretto, half an ounce of our coconut rum, 1 1/4 ounces of light rum, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Blend everything without ice. Now I'm adding in 1 1/2 cups of ice. And we will blend. While there is no garnish, we're going to float some grenadine on top. So there you go, the Cherry Almond. All right, we'll try both our frozen drinks first, then we'll move on to the shaken one, starting with the Bahamian Sunset. Cheers. Pretty bland. It's not too sweet. It's definitely not too strong. It just feels like it's missing something. I have my lime solution. If you don't know about this, it's an acid adjusting solution. The goal of this is to easily acid adjust cocktails as you're making them in the tin, but you can also do so after the fact. And in a cocktail, you might want to do 2, 3, 4 milliliters. You can use a little syringe, or if you have a little beaker, I'm going to try that right now. It's definitely better. It's a little, maybe a little too tart now, but the acidity comes through now. It's still, I think it actually needs a touch of sweetness, and it would be sweeter had we used Malibu. It's fine. I feel like this is fine. I like this better than a lot of frozen drinks you would associate with the Bahamas or hotel, resort, beach, pool, because it's not too sweet. It's very refreshing. It feels a little bit light, and the acidity helps it out a little bit. You could always use lime juice, lemon juice instead, just to give you a little bump up if you're trying this at home, because on its own, it's just a little bit flat. All right, moving on to the cherry almond. I've never had one of these. Now, we put xanthan gum, that's xanthan, with an N on the end of it in each of these drinks. And what that does is, some people will tell you, oh, it's a thickener. It will slightly thicken drinks, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is it keeps everything stabilized, meaning your drink can sit out longer without it separating out. If you've ever gone to Starbucks and had a Frappuccino, they use xanthan gum. The reason they do that is in the ice and the water, everything stays basically like emulsified, stabilized. If you're online following cocktail, channels, you probably see everyone doing this now. 2 years ago, the Tropical Standard book came out and Garrett Richards shared that technique in there. And since then, pretty much everyone you see that's making frozen cocktails online has been adopting it because it's very simple. 1/4 teaspoon per drink, and then your drink won't separate over time. This one's a little bit different and weird because we floated grenadine, which is a syrup which sank to the bottom. So I'm going to mix this up and we will try it. I already tried it earlier. Cheers. I think that's very good. I think that's the DNA there to make this great is there. It's a little bit something missing. It has the familiarity of a pina colada because it has cream and coconut rum. It's not exactly the same, obviously, as Coca Lobos, but it's close. It does have that cherry flavor, even though we didn't use cherry. But the amaretto and the grenadine together, it's very good. Like, this is something if I ordered a frozen cocktail at a bar and I would serve this, I would be very happy. All right, we are now going to move on to our final 3 cocktails. They're all shaken cocktails. I'm going to make them at the same time, and then we will try them at the same time as well. We will begin with the Yellowbird, starting with 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 2 ounces of orange juice, 1/2 ounce of Galliano, 1/2 ounce of banana liqueur, and 1 1/4 ounces of a light rum. To make the Goombay smash, we are going to start with 1 dash of simple syrup, 2 dashes of lemon juice, and my friend Trader Vic would tell you that that's 1/2 ounce, and we're rolling with that. 3 ounces of pineapple juice, 3/4 ounces of coconut rum, and then 1 1/4 ounces of a light rum, dark rum, or gold rum. I'm going dark rum here. There you go, the Goombay smash. All right, the king of the Bahama cocktails, the Bahama Mama, starting with 3 dashes of grenadine, and we're just feeling this. 3 ounces of pineapple juice. We need 1/2 ounce of Nassau Royale, which I do not have. It's been discontinued. Apparently, it's like a vanilla, banana, tropical thing. I'm using Tuaca instead. And then 1 1/4 ounces of a light rum. garnish this with a cherry and a slice of orange. And no, I am not trying to pull one over on you. This is not a slice of grapefruit. I didn't run out of oranges. This is definitely a slice of orange and cherry. And just have to color correct it if it doesn't look orange enough. So there you go, the Bahama Mama. All right, we did it. We made 5 cocktails from 1987. Let us start with the one I am the least interested in trying, the one that I anticipate that I will not like, which is, of course, a Yellowbird. Just those ingredients. It's like a elevated Harvey Wallbanger. And elevating a Harvey Wallbanger, to me, doesn't really actually say anything. So let's try it. Cheers. I don't like it. I don't like the flavors in it. I don't like the Galliano. I don't like the orange juice in there. I don't like it with pineapple. It's just a muddied mess of things that, for me, don't belong together ever. And I guess the banana, you can kind of get it, but it's just so, it's just like so all over the place that I don't find it appealing. I don't find it refreshing. This list here, I like finding unusual kind of things, even if they're from the 80s or 90s, that we kind of cast aside nowadays as being bad, and just revisiting them because I think that they're fun. I'm a kid born in the 80s, so I have this attachment to those things. This one on the list was like, this is one I would not make. All the other ones on their own, I think, like, even if you don't really revise them, could be interesting and could be delicious, and this one I just don't think ever would be. But that's just my opinion. All right, moving on to the Goombay Smash. As a guy who makes a lot of tropical cocktails, at least on YouTube, I've made, 500 or more. Never had one. I've never had one of these. I don't know if I've seen one on a menu. I don't really vacation on the East Coast or in the Bahamas or in the Caribbean or anywhere that I think this is popular. So this doesn't come up much where I live, so I've never had one. And let's see how it goes. I think traditionally you're supposed to use a dark rum, even though this one says you can use light or gold or dark. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm trying to understand this drink, like what its unique flavor profile is, and I guess it's just pineapple and some coconut rum and some dark rum. That's kind of what I'm getting. I think using a little more acid there, like I did with bumping up to half an ounce for the 2 dashes, that helps. But overall, it feels a little watered down, feels a little juice heavy. But pineapple juice, coconut rum, dark rum, that should work together. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just scaled up too much, a little bit too light for what I would want with that dark rum, and it needs just a little less juice overall, but it's not bad at all. It's tasty. One more to go. The king of the Bahama cocktails, or the queen, the Bahama Mama. I have not ever had this version using a vanilla-ish liqueur. You cannot find the Nassau Royale, which was made by Bacardi. They discontinued it sometime in the last 3 to 5 years, so it's not available. So if you could find a bottle of that and compare it to another liqueur on the market, I know people automatically go to Liquor 43. From what I've looked into, that doesn't seem like the right fit. But let's try this one. Cheers. This tastes exactly like I garnished it. That's what it tastes like. I found a restaurant supply store yesterday that sells those orchids in a box for $8, so I'm trying to use them. And this, it tastes like this. It tastes exactly like that, which is light, refreshing, juicy, a little bit sweet, not too sweet. The color looks like guava, and I think the flavor combination of the vanilla and the pineapple and the grenadine kind of like made me go to guava, even though it's not guava. But it has a real tropical, refreshing quality. The spirit's kind of lost there. I think you could do something with that. But overall, it's not bad at all. It's I'd say it's actually pretty good. So there you go, folks. Visiting the Bahamas without having to visit the Bahamas. An interesting lineup of cocktails, experiencing the ones from 1987. Some real keepers here, some real losers here. Out of all of these, the one that I would come back to for sure to try to reformat or even just actually make this version is the cherry almond. It's just really good. And even if you don't like amaretto, it's not really amaretto forward. It just works. It's very good. The rest of these, except for the Yellowbird, I think are pretty good. It depends on what you like. But if you want to have fun and experience 1987 through the lens of someone who works at the Tampa Bay Tribune, then you should try these cocktails. If you're interested in supporting this channel more, you should check out my Patreon page where I post things occasionally, but the main benefit there is that you can join the Make and Drink Discord, a group of like-minded people who really enjoy tiki and tropical cocktails. And these are tropical, not tiki, just for clarification, but just a fun group of people who interested in these things just like you are. There's different tiers for you to join, including a tier that you and I can work together to make your favorite cocktail here on YouTube. Otherwise, just give this video a like below and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next one.